I've been collecting fragrances for going on 7 years now. Actually, a little bit over 7 years, but I've been putting out videos for almost 7 years. So I've smelled a lot at this point, and these are some of the fragrances that have stuck out to me the most. There's not a ton in this video, and it's kind of a random range, and these aren't the only ones either, but I wanted to condense it down as much as I possibly could. And, you know, again, there's a lot of other options out there that I could toss in here as well that have really stuck out to me over the years, but these are the ones that came to mind first, so maybe that means something to you. I think these are great. One thing that I did do for this video is I excluded discontinued things you can't buy. So there's quite a few of those that I love, but they're not going to be featured in any of these types of videos because that just kind of gets people's hopes up for nothing. So, you know, I went through and kind of sifted through all of the stuff that you can still purchase. We're actually starting with Dior Homme Parfum, and there was one point where you really couldn't get this one all that easily, but it is stabilized finally, and it's consistently in stock. You know, you got to pay up for it. It's $180+, but still you can get it now. And by the way, that is the standard going rate for this one, 170, 180, somewhere in that range. So definitely not cheap. It's the new 100 ml bottles, not these 75s. So at least you're getting a decent amount for the price, but it still is expensive. Although it's kind of where the designers are these days in terms of retail. The elixirs, the parfums, things like that are retailing for around that price. So that makes this one not look so bad anymore. And also, to be fair, for 180 bucks, you are getting something that is incredible, great quality, outrageous performance, and just something that is very unique and really carries a lot of depth and power behind it. A ton of iris, leather, rose, oud. It's rich, it's silky, it's creamy, it's heavy, it's a little bit animalic and earthy and leathery. It smells incredible. This is a fantastic fall and winter scent that you just got to try at some point. In terms of blind buying it, it's a risky one, and this would be one that I would say you got to be careful. I wouldn't recommend it to everybody, but if you're pretty dialed in at this point and you know what you like and you're confident with that, then this might be something that you should look into. Otherwise, you can sample around, try it out first. There are clones of this one like FOMO Gary's Den you can buy for like 38, 40 bucks. It'll give you a really good representation of what this one smells like just without spending, you know, all this money. This next one here, it's going back to the very beginnings of my collection, and I still to this day love everything about this. I remember trying it in a department store first because I was seeing the hype online and everything, and not too long after that, went home and ordered myself a bottle off of discounters. Actually, this was Notino back when that was around. I think that's where I got this bottle from. It's Nuit de L'Homme in the 200 ml configuration. So this is my first ever bottle, and yeah, 200 ml. I went for the big one. It was on sale. This was right around where Notino was going out of business here in the US, and so they were liquidating a lot of things. And so got some really good deals back then. And this is one that I just love so much. It's a cardamom, warm, spicy, mysterious, sexy date night scent that just really stands out. There is nothing else in my collection that conveys the same message and feeling that Nuit de L'Homme does. I'm talking the other flankers and other designer and niche releases. Nothing touches this one in terms of how it makes me feel when I spray this one on and or when I just smell it. I mean, there's something truly, undoubtedly special about this one that maybe it's just me, but I love it still. Because at this point, it's been, you know, utilized heavily by a lot of people, and a lot of people will tell you that it's not worth buying anymore because everybody's wearing it. I disagree. I think, you know, maybe to some extent that could be the case if you live in a densely populated area. But, you know, that's kind of not everybody's situation. You can't always listen to one little hive mind idea. You got to make sure you apply things to your reality as well. And for me, for example, no one around here is wearing much of anything, and so I can get by with wearing all the popular ones, even Sauvage, EDT, and things like that. and I'm still gonna smell great. So apply that to your situation, and I would say for most of you guys, you might be surprised. You could still pull this one off and people are still gonna love it and wanna know what it is because likely they still haven't smelled it yet. Guerlain L'Homme Ideal Extreme is another one of my absolute favorites. This stuff is great, and it's a plum, almond, tobacco, kind of smoky, sweet, fruity scent. It's a really unique twist, a really unique combination of notes that isn't done often. You take a look at L'Homme Ideal Eau de Parfum or the Eau de Toilette. They still have the almond going on, but they don't have the same style of sweetness. The plum in here really sets this one apart because plum on its own is a pretty unique note that isn't used all that often. Really kind of same with almond. You know, those two aren't utilized often. But you have both of them in here together mixed with a really nice, rich, smoky red pipe tobacco accord. That just makes this one irresistible. And so I think if you're looking for a very classy, upscale winter scent, I would check this one out. It just has this very premium, expensive smell, when in reality, it's right around $100. That's not cheap, but also it's not insanely expensive either. It's about on par with what you would expect to pay for your typical Guerlain, kind of more designer, line of scent in terms of their affordability. I'm not talking the more expensive premium line or anything like that, but it does smell like it could be going for a bit more than what you're paying for it. Next one's actually a bit of a newer release. It is Le Male Elixir. I think it's a great one. Big fan of Ultra Male, big fan of Le Male Parfum. They're fantastic. This one, they're catering to the crowd that doesn't like the pear sweetness that Ultra Male has. And they're kind of giving us a tobacco honey mixture, which is very popular, used in, Xerjoff Naxos and many other scents. And this doesn't smell like Naxos or really any of the other tobacco honey scents, but it does have a real nice, unique twist on the Le Male DNA. It actually smells a little bit like Le Male Parfum to some extent, just with a bit of a different twist, a richer, heavier, more kind of substantial smell to it. Le Male Parfum, it does have a good amount of depth. It's got some iris and vanilla and things like that, but this one's just a bit richer, heavier, more dense overall, making it stand out. Another great performer, a true parfum concentration, where Le Male Parfum is like an eau de parfum intense. So, that makes this one worth it as well in terms of the slightly higher price, but I think this one really stands out in a good way. Next up, we have Terres Eau Givree. I think this one is a fantastic summer and spring scent, very bright, very fresh, and they're kind of focusing on the original DNA, the vetiver, woody, orangey smell that it's kind of dry and earthy, but just kind of has this gentleman smell. But they're just making it a bit more appropriate for summer. I do think the original Terres might get a bit too heavy, a bit too bitter, a bit too dry and woody for really hot summer days, where this one just kind of lightens things up a little bit and makes it a bit easier to pull off when it's super hot and humid outside. And as far as fresh fragrances go, a lot of them can start to smell the same and kind of run together and maybe get a bit boring. And that's something that's very common with citrus scents, aquatic scents, your typical summer fragrances in general. It's really hard to find one that stands out 100% on its own a lot of the times. But this is one that does do that, and I think that's why it stands out to me so much. Next up, we have Versace Homme Oud Noir, a fantastic designer level, affordable oud scent, at least affordable for an oud scent. As far as the Versace Pour Homme line goes, Dylan Blue and Pour Homme, this is the most expensive. Dylan Blue, Pour Homme, around $40 to $45 most of the time. This one's up there around $70, so a bit more money, but that's kind of par for the course when it comes to oud fragrances. They're just a bit more, a lot of these designers, they're synthetic ouds. They probably don't really need to cost more in terms of the pricing of the ingredients and the structure and everything, but if they have oud in the name, they can kind of get away with charging for a bit more, and that's kind of what it seems to be the case here. But it is still a real good oud scent. It's not niche level, which is a good thing because it's super easy, super versatile, but it also isn't, a Calvin Klein oud scent either, which there are a few, and they're good, but they're hardly, oud at all. It's almost non-existent. This one, it is there. You do pick up on it, a nice earthiness, a woodiness, and a little bit of a smoke in this one as well, but still it's going to be obtainable to a lot of people, and it's still going to have a good amount of mass appeal. It stands out to me because it's just an oud scent that I can wear without really thinking twice about it, whereas I have some others that might be a little bit more challenging and other people might not appreciate. We're going to finish this one with a DNA that is just, it's been with me forever, since the beginning pretty much, and so it's one that stands out to me. It's one that I love wearing in the summertime. It is Rasasi Hawas, but really it's the Invictus Aqua DNA. So I started out with Invictus Aqua 2016. I got that one when it was getting hyped up, right around that time frame. And not long after that, it got discontinued. Very upset about it. Started buying backup bottles. It was hard to get them. I was overpaying like crazy, and I ended up getting scammed on one of them. It was a fake. I made a video of me smashing that bottle. So got to be careful out there. But yeah, this DNA, I love it. And it started here. I wanted that Invictus Aqua itself because I didn't want to take any chances of deviating from it at all. Years go by and I finally get Hawas, and it's just as good, if not maybe even a little bit better. And I can't believe I'm saying that, because if you guys go back and hear me speak about Aqua 2016, it was like one of my favorites ever, and I still do love it. But this one is one that is obtainable now. It's more affordable, always has been, but it's just one that I kind of find myself gravitating towards a bit more now. The Rasasi Hawas itself, I really like. Watery notes, ambroxan, apple, sea notes. Well, I guess I already said that, but you guys get what I'm saying. There's some other fruits in here as well. There is a plum in here too. It doesn't come through a ton, but it is there, just giving kind of a sweet fruitiness. So there's a lot going on here that's very, very similar to what you would know as Invictus Aqua, right? So whichever way you go is totally up to you. If you already have Invictus Aqua on hand, you might not need this, but when you run out, this is going to be the one you would want to go for. It has great performance. It's usually around 50 bucks, sometimes even $40, and just a beast mode, summer, playful scent that I've made great memories with, and it stands out to me big time. Alrighty guys, that's gonna do it for me. Again, over the past 7 years, these are some of the favorite fragrances that have stuck out to me the most, and I still go back to them and love them very much. I think that's really gonna do it. I'll link them all down below. And like I said, I excluded things that you couldn't buy. I don't feel like doing that. It kind of gets people's hopes up. However, if you do want to be notified when rare, discontinued, hard to find fragrances come into stock, like we just had Superman Eau Fresh, Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male Superman Eau Fresh came into stock, which was crazy. It was 125 ml, 65 bucks. I've never seen anything like that. A complete gem out of nowhere. It came into stock, and I sent out a notification, and you guys were able to scoop it up. That was one of my more proud finds. That was really cool. And I didn't even get one for myself. I don't have it, but I saved it for you guys. As you could imagine, it sold out pretty quick, but that's just one of the examples of rare things coming into stock. Also, new designer releases coming into stock on discounters. A lot of times they've been hitting discounters before they're even available at retail, like Acqua di Gio Profondo Parfum. I sent out a notification on that and it sold through. It was a great one. I love that stuff. So make sure you jump on my mailing list, texting list at the link and number down below to be notified when things like that pop up. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.